catch you updated. This is Radio Manzi News in English.
Broadcasting from Kigali. Here is the news in English brought to you by Ronda. The headlines. The Minister of Ronda Province. Nyagatare District Nyagatare District communities bordering Uganda are happy that they are well supplied with essential commodities from within the country. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has called on the European Union to support his country. Now the news in detail. The Minister of Environment Mujawamariya Jeanne d'Arc is currently attending the ongoing 5th session of the United Nations Environment Assembly in Kenya. The overall theme for the assembly is strengthening actions for nature to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. This highlights the pivotal role nature plays in our lives and in social, economic, and environmental sustainable development. Minister Mujawamariya said that although the world has been affected harshly by the COVID-19 epidemic, the Assembly was still an important forum for discussing issues related to the environment. She also pointed out the plans Rwanda has put in place to protect the environment. The presidents of Zimbabwe and Botswana have given a thumbs up to Rwanda's military operations in Mozambique to drive out Islamic insurgents from the Cabo Delgado province. This was communicated in a statement issued after Zimbabwe's Emmerson Mnangagwa and Botswana's Eric Masisi's meeting in Zimbabwe over the weekend. The heads of state expressed their gratitude to His Excellency President Paul Kagame of Rwanda for the deployment of Rwandan troops to Cabo Delgado to assist in the fight against terrorism and violent extremism. Mozambican President Filipe Nyusi had also lauded Rwanda's military efforts in Cabo Delgado and thanked President Kagame for having quickly understood his country's need for help and acted accordingly to help thwart a threat posed by terrorists. About 50 construction workers in Gicumbi district have complained to district authorities about outstanding payments from the construction of Mukono School 12 years ago. The MI construction company owes the workers 2 million Rwandan francs, and due to a change in district leadership, the authorities failed to follow up on the issue. Inyas Munyaneza, the general contractor for the construction of the Mukono School, says he has no issues with the workers or the MI company in that the district should pay them. However, the executive secretary of the Gicumbi district, Chidenga Moses, claims to have been unaware of the problem. Nyagatare district communities bordering Uganda are happy that they are well supplied with essential commodities from within the country. Formerly, they used to cross the border to buy essential commodities in Uganda. The sectors bordering Uganda are Matimba, Musheri, Rwemasha, Tabagwe, Karama, and Kiyombe. Deputy Mayor for Economic Development in Nyagatare District, Matiko Gonzag, says the district is collaborating with other national agencies and traders to bring commodities closer to the people, and that they are working hard to ensure all products are available to the residents. Residents of Nyakavumusel in Mahembe sector, Nyamasheke district, have asked authorities to build a road to Karongi and Nyamagabe districts in the southern province, citing it would help facilitate trade and development. Mukamusabyimana Marie-Jeanne, the executive secretary of Mahembe sector, assured the residents of Nyakavumusel that their request had been heard and that advocacy would be done.
Some items of international news on Radio Imanzi.
From China's Exim Bank to modernize the Entebbe airport, the Ugandan government is required to channel all revenue from the country's only international airport into an account held jointly with the lender. The government is then required to use part of the revenue to repay the loan each year before it can invest in public services. Chinese creditors, unlike other lenders from developed nations, require governments to deposit some earnings from big infrastructure projects in bank accounts they control to serve as collateral. The World Bank has announced that the risk of debt distress in Tanzania has worsened from low to moderate, a situation made worse by poor performance of the tourism sector due to COVID-19 concerns. This is according to the 17th Tanzania Economic Update as released by the World Bank today. This has led to borrowing of non-concessional loans from financial partners in order to keep the economy afloat. As a result, the risk that Tanzania might fall into the debt distress has been reaffirmed by the World Bank. The American government has renewed its warning to civilian airlines flying in the Kenyan airspace to watch out for possible attacks by militant groups. The United States Federal Aviation Authority said the advisory is informed by assessments that the Somalia-based terrorist group Al-Shabaab remains an active threat in Kenya and remains in possession of weapons capable of hitting aircraft at low altitudes of up to 25,000 feet, putting at risk arrival and departure phases of flights, especially on the popular aviation route through northeastern Kenya and Somalia. The air routes covered by the Federal Aviation Authority warning include those connecting Nairobi and Far Eastern countries like Dubai, India, and China, among other destinations serviced by major airlines. Al-Shabaab has publicly declared intent to conduct attacks in retaliation for Kenya's counter-terrorism operations in Somalia, which it conducts as part of the African Union mission. Burkina Faso's military chief today signed a charter setting a 3-year transition period before the country holds elections. The transition period is longer than the 30 months proposed by a technical commission set up by the military at the beginning of last month and by a draft charter discussed for several hours at meetings between the regime and civil groups today. The charter also stipulates that the president of the transition is not eligible for the presidential, legislative, and municipal elections, which will be organized to put an end to the transition. Thousands of people were ordered to evacuate their homes by today, and thousands more were told to prepare to flee as parts of Australia's southeast coast were inundated by the worst flooding in more than a decade. At least 10 people have died. The flood waters were moving south into New South Wales from Queensland state in the worst disaster in the region since what was described as a once-in-a-century event in 2011. The government meteorologist Jonathan Howie described the recent rainfall in New South Wales and Queensland as astronomical. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has called on the European Union to support his country as Russian missiles slammed Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv, and a massive Russian military convoy massed on the outskirts of the capital, Kiev. He made the remarks addressing a European Parliament emergency session today. He said 16 children had been killed in Ukraine on Monday, and he mocked Russia. The International Criminal Court's chief prosecutor said he plans to open an investigation into possible war crimes in the invasion.
Economic news is a regular feature on Radio Imanzi.
The Ronda Stock Exchange market report of today. The trading session recorded on the fixed income market a total turnover of 90,352,000 Rwandan francs worth of bonds traded in 5 deals on the fixed income market and 2,196,000 Rwandan francs from 33,800 shares traded in 2 deals on the equities market. M10 Rwanda counter closed at 180 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 900,000 Rwandan francs from 5,000 shares traded in 1 deal. I&M Bank counter closed at 45 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 1,296,000 Rwandan francs from 28,800 shares traded in 1 deal. Bredgwa closed the counter at 125 Rwandan francs. Bank of Kigali at 250 Rwandan francs, Simirwa at 120 Rwandan francs, Equity at 440 Rwandan francs, Kenya Commercial Bank at 370 Rwandan francs, National Media Group at 1,200 Rwandan francs, Uchuri Supermarket at 104 Rwandan francs, and RH Buffalo closed the counter at 526 Rwandan francs as the market closed. The currency market review of today. The Burundian franc buying price was 0.5 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 0.51 Rwandan francs. The Kenyan shilling buying price was 8.8 and the selling price was 9 Rwandan francs. Tanzanian shilling buying price was 0.43 and the selling price was 0.44 Rwandan francs. The Ugandan shilling buying price was 0.28 and the selling price was 0.289 Rwandan francs. The euro buying price was 1,126 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 1,149 Rwandan francs. The British pound buying price was 1,349 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 1,376 Rwandan francs. The US dollar buying price was 1,005 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 1,025 Rwandan francs. The weather forecast from the Rwanda Meteorology Department from 6 in the evening tonight to 6 tomorrow morning. It is expected to be mostly cloudy in all parts of the country. The average wind speed expected is of between 3 meters per second and 4 meters per second. The minimum temperature expected is 11 degrees Celsius tomorrow morning in Nyabihu district. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news.